Hello and welcome to the Quiver channel. I'm Jason, your host. I hope you're all having a wonderful, splendiferous day. And I wanted to talk about relationships, and I'd like to give some advice to people about relationships. I was married for 20 years and I've had multiple online relationships since then. I was going to try and do it as these are the good reasons to get together, these are the bad reasons, but it doesn't work like that. Let's take an example. Age. Age can be a positive or a negative factor. Age difference can be a positive or negative factor. For example, I don't think, and it's been proven out by multiple studies, that teenagers should date anybody other than a teenager. Just does not work. The human brain is not fully formed. Interestingly, females, their brains mature and they figure out what they want earlier than men do. Men's hormones are far overriding for quite a few years in their life. When it comes to age difference, most of the problem with that comes from judgment by your peers, judgment by other people in society. I have seen many relationships that have, I think they're 40 years. I know one couple who there was a 40-year difference and they were married for over 20 years. I've seen lots of other reasons to end relationships, but it's a context situation, it's a personal situation, it's a unique situation. So age, I don't think, comes into it. It's more about who you are as a person. And that leads us straight onto likes, dislikes, and the connection. First of all, if your person that you're going to go out with is not near the top of your social hierarchy, is not the person that you go to, the person who you can open up to, the person you can tell your fears to, then why the fuck are you in a relationship with them? Because the physical attraction will fade. The chemicals that cause you to have the hots for someone, that fades. If it isn't replaced by something deeper, by something more connected, then it's just going to become either of you or both of you will end up looking for something else and someone else. If the person you're dating, the person you're with, if you don't trust them with your deepest feelings, if you can't discuss what porn you'll like with them, or what kind of kinks you're into, if you can't discuss your deepest fantasies with that person that you're living with, that you're in a relationship, then there's nothing there beyond the physical attraction, and things will fail. You don't have to both like the same things. You don't have to both do everything together. You can have alone time. You can have friends outside a relationship. There's no problem with that. But if you find yourself outsourcing your support, outsourcing your entertainment completely from the relationship, then why have the relationship? Why be together? If, on the other hand, you have shared likes and you enjoy each other's company and you spend many times, Paola would be doing stuff and sitting next to me and I'd be with her sitting there and doing my thing, and then there was always a connection, and that's what you're looking for, a connection. Beyond the age, beyond gender or whatever, it's that connection with a human being that this person gets me. I feel comfortable talking to this person. I'll feel comfortable listening to this person. I feel comfortable in their presence. We don't have to be talking, we can just cuddle. And here leads me on to the next part. Everything is not about sex. Oh my God, it's... How can I put this? If you base your relationship just on sex, then it will fail. There's no way for you to continue along that line forever. The driving force, once the chemical reactions, the hormones and that cause attraction, once they settle down, once you come out of the honeymoon period, if there's nothing else there, if there's no emotional connection, if there's no friendship connection, then it's just a fling. It's just something to pass the time. It's just something for sexual gratification, and that's fine. But it's not the kind of person you can stick with for a long relationship. Because I tell you what will drive all of that, the fun stuff, is having a partner who is connected to you. You will do things together that you never thought you could do, because there is that emotional connection which drives it. You want to make each other happy. You want to be doing all these fun things and trying new things together. But that becomes very shallow if it is purely physically based. That doesn't mean it's wrong to have the hots for someone. Me and Paola was funny because the way me and Paola met, Paola didn't find me attractive. Paola thought I was just a guy. And she wasn't really interested in getting together with anybody. It was when we started talking. It was the connection we had. Words have power. It's one of the wonderful things about getting together with someone in Discord or online. And we'll talk about that a bit later. Relationships are built on that connection. When this person is the person you want to be with when you're at your lowest, when they want to be with you when they're having a bad day, when they understand that you need space and you need time sometimes, when they're secure in their love of you and the relationship, that they don't get jealous. Now, there is a context to that, because some relationships actually fucking thrive on jealousy, on almost stalker-like behaviour between them. It's part of their thing. They love to be in each other's face all the time. But that's a very rare thing. To be in a relationship and know that this person you're with is with you. And it doesn't matter if someone outside tries to flirt with them or tries it on with them, they're with you. And they'll shut it down. You don't have to shut it down. And I've seen so much negativity, so much darkness in the world. I've seen so many people go after the wrong things. But the people that last, the relationships that last, it doesn't have to always be heavy. But you have to be real. If you can't talk to the person that you're in a relationship with about your concerns, your worries, and what's going on in your life, once again, what is the fucking point? you may as well just get yourself Tinder or something and have a few and just have some fun instead of going in a relationship. Now, let's talk about online relationships. Online relationships can be very good or very bad. And the thing you've got to remember is this. Online relationships take honesty. If one of you is lying or both of you are lying and just going through the motions, it will fail. You've got to put effort into being together. There is a hell of a lot you can do when it comes to being in an online relationship. One of the most cool things and fun things to do is to get on Discord and watch films together. We used to do it in. We had a world in Second Life that we would do that. Watch films and movies and watch one of the things. Used to find each other trailers and music videos and then compile lists, and then we'd sit together and watch them. Those kind of things connect you. There is so many different things. Gaming together. Oh my God, gaming can be a wonderful thing for couples to do together. I mean, it's no different than going to the pub. It's no different than doing the physical, real life stuff. And you will find that words can be passion. Words can be sensuality. Words can be an evolution of mental stimulus. Words are amazing. And it's all about the connection. You don't have to be in physical same location for relationships to work. And I've seen relationships that have people who've met in Discord, in VRchat, in Second Life, and then moved to real life, and it's worked. The reason it's failed, the few times I've seen it fail, is because they were lying to each other, because they weren't being honest about each other, and that's going to fail a relationship anyway. It's kind of interesting. I mean, I am single at the moment, and that my last relationship ended about 6 months ago, really, and it was just not really. We became just really good friends, and the friendship just wasn't even anything else. We just look after each other and we talk to each other still and give each other advice. No, but it just naturally ended. That did. You know, when you've had a good relationship, when it ends without either party getting hurt, when it ends and you're both still friends, when you just realise that 4 years, it just didn't, it wasn't the same after that. And I've said, if you can talk, one of the red flags is if you go out with someone who's always putting down the person they've been with before, there's usually something wrong there more than they're saying. Relationships don't usually fail because of one person, but one person cannot keep a relationship going. If you're the person in the relationship is doing all the effort, is putting all the work in, is opening yourself up and trying to form something long term with someone, and the other person is just coasting along or making excuses, then it's not going to last. No one should be alone. Even introverts. Introverts, yes, we love our own company. We love being in our own place. And autistic people, we like to have our space. But there's no more wonderful connection than being with someone and having a journey together. That's the kick-ass thing. That's the world can be as shitty as it wants, but if you've got that one person in your corner, then life is amazing. What's the most common reasons that relationships fail, apart from lies? Which lies? Disconnection, cheating. There's also the friendship dynamic. If you're dating someone and your friends don't like him and start to fill your head full of crap, or all these things where a woman's friend group might get them to test them and things like that, that relationship doesn't really exist, and it's going to go down anyway. It's my last piece of advice about relationships is listen to each other. Actually listen to each other. I never had any problem finding gifts or presents to give Paola, and these weren't grand gestures. Grand gestures don't work. You're usually masking something with grand gestures. I'm talking about gifts, not because it's the birthday, not because it's anything, but just because you want to see the other person smile. And you know you're in a good relationship if you mention offhand one day that you like a certain TV show, or a game is your favourite game, and they go off and find and stalk the fucking TV show and find out who made it and find out the main actors and actresses and then find out their emails and then freaking contact them and say, hey, my husband, my boyfriend, my girlfriend really liked your show. Would you be able to send a letter to him or a signed picture or something like that? Those are the gifts that matter. Those are the gifts that are fucking special to know when someone's on. And it doesn't just be like that. If they find out something you really like and they draw a picture about it, and Paola used to love to paint pictures and things like that, and those were the best gifts. The gifts that you knew came from the heart. There's way too much materialism, way too much bullshit that goes into all of this crap to do with buying expensive gifts for each other to show you love. That doesn't show you love someone. Never has. One of the biggest red flags you can see in a relationship is when it goes to engagement and they buy these massive, gaudy rings, thousands and thousands of pounds, as if they're compensating for something that's missing in the relationship, as if this physical item will actually make everything okay. You know when a relationship's in a good point, when the ring is subtle, when the ring is something special, but it's not overt. It's not something to go around your office and say, oh, look at this, look at this ring that he's given me. He loves me. Bullshit. No. The rings and gifts and that should come from the heart. Shouldn't come with obligation, could come with just wanting to do something nice for the person you're with. Not because you're guilty, because you cheated, but because you actually want to do something nice. And if the person you're with doesn't like receiving gifts, then there's other things you can do with them. There's so much out there. There's a lot of bullshit. But be honest. Talk with the people you care about. And don't settle for less. if at all possible, do not settle for less. The best long-term relationships I've seen are relationships that started as friendships, started honestly, started with talking, started with a connection. And you all deserve a reason to smile. You do. So this is Jason for the Queber channel. I hope you're all having a wonderful, splendid first day.